Alright, here in example 2, it's similar to example 1 other than we have a different shape. Okay, anytime you have perimeter, you're going to need the lengths of the side of the object, whatever it may be. So we'll need this length, this length, this length, and this length. Now, if they were right angles or right on it, we could just use count, but we're not going to be able to do that this time. So what we're going to do is find the distance between each. So let's go ahead and find the length of AB. Okay, so what we'll do is say -3 minus 2, we're going to square it, plus 0 minus 4, and again I'm just using the distance formula, which goes back to the Pythagorean theorem. Alright, anyway, we have -3 minus 2, it's going to be -5, which we'll square, plus -4 squared, so we end up with 25 plus 16. Okay, and so what we end up with is square root of 41. We're going to go ahead and punch this in the calculator. When we go to add them all up, we'll do that. But the distance here is the square root of 41. Alright, so now we need to find this length, BC. Okay, and so to do that, change in x, so it's going to be 2 minus 3 squared plus 4 minus 1 squared. Okay, so we end up with -1 here plus 3 squared. Okay, so we end up with 1 plus 9, or square root of 10. So this distance is square root of 10. Alright, so we still need the length CD. So we'll do that. 3 minus -4 squared plus 1 minus -3 squared. So what we'll end up with is 3 double signs. We're going to change. So it's going to be 7 squared plus 4 squared. Okay, so we end up with 49 plus 16, or the square root of 65. Okay, now the only other length we got to find is AD. Okay, so we'll end up with -3 minus -4 plus not negative, 0 minus -3 squared. Alright, so we'll end up with, here we have double signs, we'll have -3 plus 4. So we're actually going to end up subtracting and getting 1 squared plus -3 squared. So we end up with 1 plus 9, so we end up with a square root of 10. Alright, so now we have all our distances. Now you're going to have to put this in your calculator. Now we could simplify. We could add the square root of 10 and the square root of 10 to get 2 square root of 10. But we're just going to add up the distances around to come up with it. So it would end up being square root of 41 plus square root of 10 plus square root of 65 plus square root of 10. Now the only ones we can really add together are these two. So we could write this as square root of 41 plus 2 square root of 10 plus square root of 65. But you're really going to need a calculator for all this. And if you put all this in, it should end up with 20.8 units. Now this has been rounded. This would be considered exact, but when you do the radical and put it in your calculator, it's going to give you a rounded number. But anyway, the perimeter is 20.8. Again, the key here is that you got to use the distance formula to find the distance between your ordered pair that make up your geometric figure here.